Well, hello universes. I'm about to do today is I'll show you a technique which is old. It's just that in the last generation or so, we have suddenly found it again, but it has been going forever. This is how people have kept their food to survive over time when there were no refrigeration. So what I'm about to do is I'll ferment some longhorn pepper. A bit of history about it. It originated from China. It's called longhorn just because of the size of it. It's also called cow horn. It's not too spicy actually. It's around 15 to 20,000 Scovilles. My own chilies haven't done very well this year, so I didn't have enough. So I sourced these from Bob's garden. So all of these are from Bob, and Bob did not grow too many hot chilies. And that's another issue because I do like to make my sauces with hotter chilies because eventually it miles down. What I'm about to do over here, I have some of the dried chilies from last year. I remember this one is the lemon drop. I do not remember the name of this one. I dried those last year, so I'll put it in the mix just to crank up the heat a bit. I have already taken off the green part off it. I did not weigh it. Let's say a couple to 3 pounds, not too much. I have clean jars over here. So what we'll do today is make a mesh. What is mesh? You crush your chilies, not all the way to a paste. We'll add salt to it, we'll add some water to it, and then we'll let it ferment for a few weeks to a month, depending how you want to do it. And eventually you finish it. But let's start. So I have this beautiful machine over here. What we'll do is add our chilies. Actually, let's see, because I think the better way will be, and I didn't think through. If you break them one, you'll get more space and the blade catches them better. Let's start with this much, even though I can fill more, but no reason to. So if my camera comes close to my chilies, so when I say crushed, this is what we're trying to do. You can already smell the beautiful smell of red chili. This one did not go through, that's fine. I'll move it here. So I'll collect these in a bowl. I'll do all the rest of it. So the chilies have been crushed, coarsely crushed. Don't make a paste out of it because the flavor changes, because you do need those seeds to be crushed towards the very end after the fermentation. So now I'll put some salt. As I said, there are no measurements right now. The thing which is important, use water which is either, you really want water without chlorine. So buy distilled water from a store, or if you have one of these jugs where it cleans it. Or if you don't have both those situations, what you can do is put water in a pot or something overnight, and when you pour it don't dump it down, because all the chlorine and everything else settles in the bottom. So skim up the top, and you can do that way also. But this technique works also because this jug is not only my drinking water, but it also, whenever I'm doing my ferments, helps. Mix it, let's taste it. Okay, it is a bit more than, there's more salt. So what I'll do is just again, this is experience. How much water to go in there, it's not important. What you're looking for is have something for it to ferment in. I have done that. I would not use water and just put salt in these chilies, crushed chilies, and let it ferment. You can go that route also. This is a bit easier. So today we're doing a 101. So I'm doing it this way. Okay, good. This is far less salty. Okay, so our mash is ready to be bottled, jarred, whatever you want to call it. I have used multiple different techniques of starting my ferment. Today we'll just use regular glass bottles. I never use metal for fermentation. Plastic works, but I prefer not to use plastic. The other one which I've used, and that was a lot of fun. So this is a cooking vessel which comes from villages in Pakistan. It's what would you call it, raw clay. Inside or outside, there's no coating. What I did was I put some wax underneath it. The reason being, since it's porous, it breathes, liquid starts falling. Doing this, at least the liquid does not come out. But from the sides, it does give you that breathing space that's very good for fermentation. We are not going that route today, but I just want to show it to you. From here, I'll fill the jars. And after they are filled, I'll show you a few other techniques. So I was able to fill 2 bottles. One is a half a gallon. I don't remember the size of the other one. So we will start the process now. What I want to show you over here, I knew a few weeks ago that I'm about to do this ferment. So what I did over here is, this is beets which have been fermenting. It has on top the grape leaf, and you'll see how grape leaf is used. So don't gross it out. It's green grape leaf that you toss out, but that's the color. I'll do it for two. I'm doing this for 2 reasons. One is the pepper or chili on itself sometimes is very spicy. Adding something else to it brings a different dimension. So that's one thing. So the other thing I have done, these are pickle juices, regular pickle juices. I pickle things. Whatever was in there was used, and the liquid was left. It already has flavor. So what I have done is, in this kind, I added, if you look in the bottom, if we are able to see it, dried garlic. I've added that. So when I'm ready to finish the sauce, I'll use this instead of water, because we will finish it with mixture of water, depending if there's enough, because after the ferment happens, the flavor of the salt goes away. It becomes sour. So if you want to have that salt flavor, when you bottle it, you have to add more salt to it. Again, this is another one in which I put super spicy chilies, and depending how I feel at that time, I'll use it. As we're talking about fermentation, one other last thing, something I did last week, and it wasn't worth making a whole video out of it. Actually, this bottle looks better because we've already used half of it. These are shishito peppers. One thing about shishito peppers is that they're, generally speaking, not spicy. But what happens is 1 in 10 might be spicy. What I did was I roasted them on an iron skillet, and then I added whatever was roasted with olive oil in it, and I think I put a bit of garlic in it. If it was to me, I might even put garlic on my ice cream. As we're talking about fermentation, one other thing, again, I cannot make a whole video. If people ask, I can talk about it. If you look over here, I'm making kombucha. What's kombucha? It's a Korean drink, fermented drink. I made a tea, boiling water with oregano and mint and a lot of sugar. That went in there. If you see the scum on top over here, this is the mother which came from my vinegars. If you see the bubbles, if my camera is able to capture it, this is where the fermentation process is happening. So I started this last week. It will sit for a week. I'll take the mother out, then I'll bottle it. But what I do is one third of any juice that you like, and find some juice which is more sugary, even though it's counterintuitive. Why more sugar? Sugar is bad. In this case, it's converting sugar into vinegar. So that's a good thing. So then I'll 2/3 of this liquid, 1/3 of the juice. I bottle it, then I leave it for 4 or 5 days. So from start to end, it takes me around say 10 to 12 days to finish it, and then that becomes a wonderful drink, just like iced tea, and no sugar in it because the sugary part has converted into your vinegar. Now, last bit. If you have grape wines in your house, that's the best thing you can do. What you do is, if you don't have a grapevine, cauliflower is decently cheap, use that. I just picked them, I just ran them under cold water for a few minutes, for not too long. This is what I'm doing. So what we're trying to do is the solids don't come on top. So everything about the fermentation process is, as I started saying, that you have to cover it with something that the solids don't come higher than the liquid. This is the part where many people get scared. There are multiple different gadgets that you can buy in the stores. So this is one device. It's a water lock, they call it. There are 3 parts to it. The cap, which already has a hole in it, and then this gadget, then this comes on top, and this to top. And I'll show you how to do that. Then there is another thing. You can buy weights. They go straight in. I tend to use it, but they become a bit painful. So I have different ways to use it. And the other one is, when you buy something, a store-bought pickle, they might have something like this to hold their pickles down. What I do is I just wash them and keep them, that I can use it. I'm not about to use this. I will use this to demo it to you. So let's do this one first. Secure the lid. Add some water. Put this lid on. Put it here. And cover it. You'll start noticing, not right away, but in the next few days, you'll start seeing bubbles. And that's what you're looking for. That's carbon dioxide coming out. So that's one way of doing it. For that, you have to spend a couple of dollars. The glass one works, but putting it straight, it becomes a pain in the end. So what I do is, you can take a bag, any kind of a small bag, put that in and leave it there. I'll show you a technique which I find the best and the simplest and the cheapest. Fill some water. Bring it over here. Move your bag in a way that it covers everything. I just added a little bit of water. I'm about to add more water to it. By the way, I did not invent this technique. A few years ago, I saw that online, somebody was doing it, and I found this a very genius idea. Now, what this is doing, putting it down, it's covering, no dust or anything can go. There is enough space. Carbon dioxide will happen from here. Keep an eye on the corners. Make sure if the water is evaporating or things are not. One thing I do, I'll throw in some cubes of ice, because initially they put some weight and it starts sinking in. In the next few days, you'll start seeing these it's not only changing colors, but you'll start seeing bubbles on the edges. So this is how you start a ferment. So I'll just give you a technique. The rest of it now, it's not too difficult. If I don't make another video about it, at least you will know what to do. Let it sit for a couple to 3 weeks. Check every day. Check around here. This is where fungus can happen. Always towards the top. Leave it in a darker place, in a kitchen like that. Whatever I was doing with my beets, I just put a kitchen towel on top of it, leave it like that, keep an eye. After 2 weeks, take a blender, blend it to the level of sauce. In my case, I'll also blend whatever I'm doing with beets. If you don't want beets or you don't like beets, don't. Then I'll use a mix of whatever this was. In your case, if you don't have brine, use water. Put some salt, some vinegar. Apple cider vinegar is better. But if you mix synthetic and apple cider, it gives a different flavor. And these sauces will be, and taste it, because you want to play with the taste with you like the flavor. So you can increase or decrease. Now, some people do not like all the solids. I do prefer, but there are times that I take all the solids out using a strainer or something. So this is an example where I just pulled the liquid out. Eventually, I added some spices in it for the look, so that when you use it, it looks fun. If you leave the solids in it, that's fine. If you take them out, that's fine. What I've done in these cases, I'll take the solids out, dehydrate them, then crush them. That becomes a dry rub for me. Many things which could be done from here. I hope you learned something from this 101 on how to start a ferment. This technique is used across for many or anything. You can ferment mostly anything out of the garden. I don't know, I haven't tried yet, but can we do pumpkin? We can try one day. Let's see if we figure something out. But this is start of a ferment. Try doing it. If you have questions for the finishing steps, put it down in the comment section, and I'll try to answer as best as I can. I hope, again, you enjoyed. Subscribe to our channel. Like this video. Go to my blog, myfriendbob, one word, .info, INFO. Thank you so much.